So as discussed previously, ArcGIS Online is a resource for microgrid planning and mapping. You can sign up for an account for free at arcgisonline.com, and once you've signed up for an account, you will see this and log in. You'll see this dashboard. Here you'll be able to search for all sorts of different maps and layers. And in order to access the map for this academy, the NJ Critical Facilities map, you can just type in NJ Critical Facilities, and it should load up. So here, once it loads, you'll be able to see information about the map. We're going to be looking at it in map viewer form, but later we'll look at it in terms of viewing for desktop. So it should load up shortly. There's a lot of points that are within this map, so it may take a minute to load. So as you can see here, there's all types of layers related to some of the data that we saw earlier, such as law enforcement, fire stations, EMS, hospitals, and you'll have to use your judgment in terms of what type of FEMA category these facilities are in, but most of them are either 2, 3, or 4. As mentioned, we have grocery stores in here. Also, we were able to develop layers based off of the Mod 4 data that show government buildings, community spaces, public works, and utility buildings, and water infrastructure. Also on the map, we have municipalities shown in white and hurricane evacuation routes shown in red. So in order to search for your municipality, you can click here on the top right corner. We're going to look for Neptune Township. And it should come up. There we go. And as you can see here, we have Neptune Township, and the boundary of it is shown in white. You can click on it to make sure, and it highlights the boundary of the township, and it will show the name. And you'll be able to look at various critical facilities that are within Neptune Township. You will have to go through the screening process as discussed in the tutorial, but you'll be able to take a look at all the sites within the municipality and be able to determine where it would make sense to have a microgrid. These sites can be, information of these sites can be taken and put into your master spreadsheet and then whittled down. Once you've determined your microgrid area based off of where it makes the most sense, you can then kind of zoom in, and as you can see here, this is probably the most logical place to have a microgrid in Neptune Township because of the different facilities that are located within a close proximity. As you can see here, we have the Jersey Shore University Medical Center. We have a number of schools, as well as a municipal building, police station, and some grocery stores. So it seems like a pretty good candidate for a microgrid. In the other tutorial, we talked about anchor institutions, and usually it makes sense to use facilities that are critical, FEMA Category 4, and may have higher power needs. So in the example that was shown in the tutorial, the Jersey Shore University Medical Center was used as an anchor institution. So here you can click on it and see various information, and you can measure the distances around the anchor institutions by clicking here. So you can click on the center and be able to see the distance of different facilities that are around it. So this is all within kind of a half-mile radius. Unfortunately, ArcGIS Online doesn't allow you to create a radius or a buffer around different points. So you have to use this measuring tool. But once you get a good sense of what is nearby, you can kind of see what can go into your microgrid. You can also measure distances of potential conduit as well. So that is how you measure. Once you have kind of determined your microgrid, you can click on the different points and take that information and put it into your master spreadsheet. And that's one way to kind of get a starting point for what you want to include in your microgrid. Not every site is going to be available through these data points. As you can see here, this is actually a utility building that wasn't included in the data that you might want to include into your master spreadsheet, but isn't available through this mapping application. You should be able to access this map through a link on the Academy website and through ArcGIS Online. So this is one way to get points for your microgrid.